Now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
All right, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. It is the Sunday night edition of the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, where you make the call, and all you have to do is call 412-575-2600. That hooks you up with us right here on the Bordas and Bordas hotline, and we have plenty to talk about as usual. Want to remind you we have a fiery edition of the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown coming up tonight, 11:35, KDKA TV, right after the late news. On the panel tonight, Paul Zeiss, Will Graves, Chris Muller, and we get into a lot of different things, as I'm sure we will tonight with you, starting with the Steeler roster moves, starting with your predictions for where they will finish in the AFC North. And quite frankly, to me, this goes beyond this division. This goes into the postseason for the Steelers. They're at a point when they need to win another championship and feel that window is open right now to do that. Of course, a big part of it will be Le'Veon Bell, and when he returns, should be tomorrow. You'd hope it'd be tomorrow. That's the first day of practice for the new week as they get set for the Cleveland Browns. But so far, have not heard one word about the whereabouts of Le'Veon Bell, who denied a report last week that he would be in on Monday, at least according to his Twitter site. So we'll see what happens there, but obviously he's a big part of what they do. James Harrison this week on Fox National TV suggested that Le'Veon Bell should miss the first 9 weeks and show up for Week 10, which is part of what you can do as a player according to the collective bargaining agreement. You show up and you get accredited for a full year, even though you play the final 6 weeks. Depends on how you're doing this right now, and we'll see. But I expect he'll be there just like last year. I expect he'll produce and try to put up numbers. Although it's interesting to note, the last year, I believe Le'Veon Bell only had 4 100-yard rushing games. He's a big part of the pass game, no question. 85 receptions, and he can do a lot in so many different ways. So he is elite. He's the best at what he does, and he wants paid accordingly. But the Steelers are paying him more than accordingly right now with this franchise tag, as you know, $14.5 million. That's by far the highest number for any running back in NFL. We'll see how it goes from here, but he's needed. Even when he's back, however, he will start. He should not be given all of the carries. James Conner deserves it, plus I think it'll help Le'Veon Bell, who was rusty in his first 3 weeks last year. Let me know how you think on that, and also the quarterback decision. If you've watched here and heard me, you know that I've been believing that Josh Dobbs has made significant progress year 1 to year 2, and I thought that was going to be the #1 reason why they chose him over Landry Jones. There could be a lot of other reasons, but that is the biggest one. Development is very important when you're a coaching staff, and they see him every day. They saw what he did last year. And I noticed from just 8 preseason games, which I broadcast of his game, the night and day difference from last year to this. And I think he put it all on Thursday night, and you can say what you want about playing whatever second, third stringers. The bottom line is you do look for certain things regardless of who's putting it on. Like, for example, when there's a 300-pound guy bearing down on you and he's about to nail you, and Josh Dobbs got hit 5 times in that game. He stood in there, took a hit, made a play. He used his feet to get out of the pocket, looked at downfield, kept his eyes on his reads as he was doing this. I think you see night and day difference. Landry Jones, certainly very familiar with this offense, knows what he's doing, but a game manager. And I think, people who say, well, you're giving up a game manager who might be able to win. I understand that. But who's to say Josh Dobbs, or for that matter, Mason Rudolph, can't do that either? They may have determined that they have 2 guys who can do that, even though they've never done it. But they believe in game situations they could. What this also does, ladies and gentlemen, is that it means for next year, for the first time in several years, the Steelers will not be drafting a quarterback, it looks like. Because had they kept Landry Jones, he would have not been here next year. They would have cut Dobbs. He would have been gone. And so you have Rudolph. You would have had to draft another quarterback, or at least bring another quarterback in. They don't have to worry about that now with 2 young quarterbacks. Anyway, it's all a moot point if Roethlisberger should be out extended, period. I think that's a difficult one to overcome. But he's shown the last couple of years he's pretty durable and resilient, and he doesn't miss much time. 412-575-2600 is the number to call. I'd like to get your take on where you think they will finish in the division, and more than that, can they get to a Super Bowl? A couple of national outlets have already predicted they will get to the Super Bowl, and that's the goal. But to me, it's all about home field, even though last year they didn't work out against Jacksonville. But they have to go into this thinking the same way. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Pirates, who lost again 5-1. So now they're 66-71, 5 games under 500. They come home tomorrow to take on the Reds at PNC Park on a Labor Day afternoon game. Who should get the blame, and should there be some action accordingly? if you were in charge of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Hurdle and Huntington both are, first to 4-year contracts, so likely that won't happen. But should it happen? Should there be some shakeup? Tonight on the number one Cochran Sports Showdown, one of our panelists says they should clean house. Tune in tonight, 11:35, find out who that is and his logic behind it. In the meantime, we'll take a break, come back with more, including your phone calls, 412-575-2600. Also tweet me at KDPomp. We'll continue right after this on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. The Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call is brought to you by Ireland Contracting, putting new roofs on Pittsburgh homes for over 25 years. Call Ireland Contracting at 1-800-NEW-ROOF.